college related to writing.
Yes.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Advanced Livestream Monday afternoon. I'm Peter, your host, and I'm joined this week by Rhonda. Hello, Rhonda.
Hello, Peter. Hello, everyone. Thanks for watching, and it's great to be here today.
It's good to have you back, Rhonda. Rhonda had to make a visit to the States, as you may recall, earlier this fall, and so we missed her for a few weeks here at Advanced and around the office generally. So we're glad to have her back now and thought we'd bring her back into it Advanced, have her do some episodes with us. We're glad you're joining us today. We had a wonderful time, by the way, I just want to say, over the weekend with our Christmas rally at the International Convention Center here in Taipei. Saw some of you there. Joy, nice to see you there. Thanks for introducing yourself. And it was just a wonderful time and a great show, and we hope you all enjoyed watching it as much as we enjoyed presenting it to you.
And can they re-watch it or watch it for the first time?
They can,
yes.
To re-watch it, I think you just need to go to YouTube and enter Studio Classroom Christmas Rally or something, 2024, to make sure you get the most recent one. But yeah, it should be on YouTube, and possibly also there's a link on our website as well if you want to see it. Hello, Steve.
Hey,
Steve, good afternoon, teachers. I really loved the show last Saturday. And the airport acting, yes, it was set in an airport, really gave me the inspiration of what I can draw for Christmas in 2026. Great, Steve. Enjoyed having you contribute to the live stream as well that I did with a sister named Esther during the evening performance that night. And we also have Bea joining us. Good afternoon, Bea. And Agatha. Hi, Agatha.
She says she likes my hair. Thank you, Agatha. I appreciate that.
Oh, yes, look at that.
You're so kind.
She is. And Daisy also. Daisy, hi. Good afternoon to you. Well, again, we're glad to have you with us today. We are pivoting off of, as always, an article this week in Advanced Magazine. And this week, we have one called The Power of the Pen. The Power of the Pen. Now, Rhonda, there's an old saying, the pen is mightier than the sword in English. What does that mean?
Great saying. So swords are used to fight and try to persuade people that you are right, but the pen can persuade and win arguments more effectively. Of course, it doesn't kill people.
Unless you throw it really hard.
No, Peter, watch out, cameraman. No. So the pen is mightier than the sword is really a wonderful saying from somewhere in English history that shows that it's very effective to put down words and influence people with your words.
Right, and the expression came about back in the days before the internet, before digital email, when the pen was really the only way of expressing your thoughts. So it's about writing. It's also about how ideas are ultimately more powerful than physical weapons like a sword. But our article today presents an interesting thing, an interesting idea. It is scientific research that shows the value of writing. And when we say writing, we don't mean making up stories, not writing in that sense. That is a kind of writing, but that's not what we're talking about, writing up stories, writing books, nothing like that. We're talking just about writing. And when we say writing, again, this is according to the article, there is something about writing it down with a pen or pencil that increases the benefit that you get from it. It increases the clarity of your thoughts if you're writing down your thoughts. It helps you to internalize the ideas that you are expressing or that you are communicating to someone, and that's just jumping right in here. Internalize, that's one of our vocab words today. And now, Rhonda, what does internalize mean in a more general sense?
Sure. Now, you said internalize your thoughts. Of course, your thoughts are already internal, but to internalize something, what we mean today is really make it become part of your identity, part of your character. We often use it this way. Oh, when I grew up, I heard a lot of bad messages and I internalized them.
Right.
So I need to change the things I believe about myself.
Right, yeah.
It's a pretty heavy word in that sense.
Yeah, to internalize something is to understand it better, take it into you, integrate it, into your beliefs. And when you write something down, that helps you internalize it more than just reading it, more even than just typing it. Studies have shown that writing it down has that extra effect to it. So we're going to talk today, like the article talks about, writing and how you can do more writing in your everyday life. Because writing has also been shown to improve your cognitive skills, to help you improve emotional intelligence, all these benefits.
Yes.
And already, yes, joshing, I think that's you. Externalize, right, the opposite of internalize, very good, and opposite, you know that word too, great joshing. So let's just go to our poll now. We kind of jumped into the vocabulary, but let's go to our poll nevertheless. How often do you write? Once a month or more? Every couple of months? A few times a year? Once a year or less? And again, this is writing like in a journal, or writing a letter to someone, or even writing someone a note, as long as it's writing with a pen or a pencil and not just emailing or texting, which, you know, we do so much today. I do it as much as anyone. So that's why it's interesting here to focus on actual writing.
I think we should also throw in the word handwritten or handwriting, because if you want to make sure people know what you mean, we might say, send me a handwritten letter. So now the word write, we do use for both.
Right.
Yeah, so.
Right.
No, you mean correct.
R-I-G-H-T.
But W-R-I-T-E, if you want to specifically clarify that you held a pen in your hand.
Right.
Handwriting or handwritten.
Yeah, a handwritten note, a note written by hand. Agatha, hello. How to improve writing skills. Any suggestions for the advanced English readers?
Beautiful.
Read a lot of books or novels for American middle schoolers level? Yes. Great start in terms of expanding your vocabulary, in terms of better understanding English language culture. In fact, in next month's Advanced, there's a preview here.
Yes.
Next month, January Advanced, we are starting a new feature.
So excited.
A new feature for 2025 in which we take an excerpt from a classic work of American literature, middle school or higher. You guys are advanced, you can take the higher level. And we present it, and we have a few vocab words so you can understand what they're talking about. And we also have some discussion questions, all in the same feature, just one page right there in your advanced magazine. And there's a video feature as well. So go to our Advanced Studio Classroom channel on YouTube and look up the discussion video for each month's excerpt from the classic literature.
And it has a great name, The Art of English. It will be at the front of your January issue. Thanks for asking.
Art of English. Steve, sometimes when I was writing words on my comic book, that's right, Steve with the comic books, I written the word long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, and that's my next fan fiction of Star Wars. Yes, fan fiction, another form of writing. Daisy, what does Daisy say?
Handwriting letters are precious nowadays. Great sentence, because people tend to write by typing rather than hand for communication. Yes, they are precious. Those old letters from your grandmother that we still have.
Yes.
Samples of handwriting, yes.
I remember when I was a teenager, my grandmother told me that if you want to really impress someone or convey what they mean to you, write them something. Write them a letter with your own hand, because in those days we didn't even have email yet, but we did have typewriters. And that's what I did most of my schoolwork on. On the chunk, 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 yes. I did most of my schoolwork on that. I wrote term papers on a typewriter, but she said when you want to write a personal letter to someone, take out a pen or a pencil and hand write it, and it will have more of an effect. It will have more of an impact.
We should do a whole article on handwriting. Mine is very bad. When I was a child, we got graded on our handwriting. That would be a wonderful discussion. Can we talk about handwriting someday? Let's do it.
Yes, we'll have in the future an episode on handwriting. But again, today we are talking about handwriting, but again, not necessarily making up stories or even fan fiction. Go for it, Steve. But this is just about writing in your journal, like what Rhonda was doing, or writing a little note to someone. And the article gives us some great vocab on this. One thing, I spoke about the notes just now. You can write in a journal, you can write a letter to someone, but the article mentions the CEO of Campbell's, a big soup company, you know, Campbell's Soup. It used to be a very toxic environment, and that's another vocab word for us. Working at Campbell's in the past, not anymore, but in the past, working at Campbell's was a toxic situation. Rhonda, what does toxic mean?
Well, it means poisonous. Literally, if this drink is toxic, it's poisonous. So you don't want to work in an environment where everything feels damaging.
Right, where there's a bad spirit among the people, there's lots of conflict, people maybe don't seem to get along well, or there's trouble, you know, between ranks in the organizational hierarchy of the company. So what this guy did when he came to Campbell's is he got in the practice of handwriting a little post-it note every time he would visit the regional offices of Campbell's. He would write a little post-it note and leave it behind so people could see how grateful he was for their contribution to the company. And another word for grateful is what, Rhonda?
Thankful? Or
another word for thankful is
obliged.
Obliged.
We say, I am obliged, much obliged. How would we use that in a sentence?
Yes, I'm much obliged to you, Rhonda, for joining me on the live stream today at short notice.
What do I say? Glad to be here. No,
Yes,
no problem. I'm trying to think of that.
In response.
Not you're welcome.
Right, no. You could say you're welcome. I would understand that.
Okay.
What you meant by that.
Sometimes my vocabulary fails me. A nice handwritten note from your boss, that's really special, right?
Right,
It's sort of a humble aspect of that, of like showing yourself through a handwritten note.
Yeah,
right?
and to be obliged to someone means to be in their debt, to owe them. When you have an obligation to someone or to something, that is a responsibility that you have to them. And so to be obliged, same root word there, to someone.
Oh, sorry, Peter, I interrupted because I wanted to acknowledge we are much obliged to Agatha, who says, I'd love to receive a handwritten note or letter, but it may be hard for me to understand if that is done with cursive handwriting. Excellent writing there, Agatha.
Cursive.
Yes, you're right. Oh.
Meaning the handwriting that is all kind of fancy and the loops and everything. I don't know if they still teach that. I learned it growing up in school. So, you know, when you write like
it's all
this.
connected cursive.
Yeah.
Agatha knows. I want to throw in another vocab word, illegible. My cursive writing is illegible. So Agatha, I would try to take my time writing you a note. Illegible means you can't read it.
Can't read it, yeah.
Illegible.
Unreadable, illegible.
That is the problem with handwriting.
Right. Okay, and
compulsory.
Joshing says the same as compulsory. No.
Oh, obliged? No.
It's
obligation.
in the ballpark. It's in the ballpark, but compulsory has less of a sense of being in debt to someone for something they've done for you, like the CEO of Campbell. He was honoring what the employees had done for the company. Now, of course, they also pay them to do that. It wasn't like they volunteered it. But he wanted to just let them know that even though they have a business relationship, he was still obliged to them. He was thankful to them for the work they'd done for the company. Compulsory is a bit more like something that is, when something is compulsory, it means you have to take it, like at college. You know, there are elective classes that you can choose, you can elect to take or not take, but there are compulsory classes that you have to take based on the degree you're following. If you're doing a biology degree, then lab work is compulsory.
A usage tip for obliged, you might say, I feel obliged. I don't have to do this, but I really feel obliged to thank him for the note. Compulsory means I have to.
Right.
But you might say feel in front of the word obliged.
Yeah, again, there is some similarity there. They're not completely opposite. But compulsory is just used more in contexts of when it's like following the rule, following the law. And it's not about something that someone has done for you that creates a sense of being obliged to them.
Steve.
Steve says, I really need to start to continue both writing and typing because I really want to try handwriting a letter sent to my friends. Yeah, great, Steve. That is another...
Send Peter a letter. Would you like to get a handwritten letter from Steve?
A handwritten letter. We will accept them here at ORTV in Daja, yes. But letter writing is another one of the ways of practicing handwriting that they recommend in the article. And when you write a letter, another good vocab word for that, one of our vocab words today, is correspondence. Big, long word there, but kind of simple. Correspondence. Rhonda, what does correspondence mean?
An exchange of letters between two people. There are famous correspondences in history. The famous correspondence between
Napoleon and Josephine.
Okay.
His wife.
A collection of their letters. So we often say, I need to keep up a correspondence.
Yeah.
Keep up the relationship through writing.
Right, yeah. And there, obviously, correspondence can also refer to digital communications, but it is more classically in the old days, correspondence meant letter writing. Joshing, I'm much obliged to you. Thank you, Joshing. We are obliged to you for watching us here at Advanced.
And Joy, thank you for your comment there.
Hello, Joy. Yes, again, good to see you at the show on Saturday. Okay, so we are running down already. We've already burned through a whole lot of time here, but let's do one or two more here. Just jumping back to the journal writing.
Yes.
The journal writing, that's obviously a great way to practice handwriting. What you want to do for journal writing is use a dedicated book, and that's another vocab word, dedicated. Now, dedicated does mean to be committed to something in terms of how seriously you take it. You know, I'm dedicated to my job. I show up every day on time, blah, 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 blah. But in this sense, to have a dedicated book for your journaling is something that you only do journaling in that book. Good journaling, you don't want to do it in a book that you do other things in, like your weekly diary or your notes at work or something like that, or classwork. No, if you want to get the maximum benefit from journaling, have a dedicated book for journaling. And
Steve has thrown in a definition of toxic, poisonous water. And Joy, we did see your comment in English. I apologize, but yes, you talked about a word toxicate. We'll have to look that version up. Peter, I wanted to...
Toxicate or intoxicate?
Well, why don't we talk about the journal instead?
Oh.
No, she said toxicate.
Oh, toxicate?
Oh, yeah.
Toxicant, I think. Toxicant.
Oh,
yeah.
Apologies, Joy, you were right.
A toxicant, yeah, something that is toxic, like an ingredient. A toxicant is some element of something, literal or figurative, that intoxifies or makes toxic. Thanks, Joy. But yeah, Steve, your comment, Peter mentioned the company that reminded me of a movie based on a true story called Dark Waters. I think I remember that movie. That was talking about DuPont Company using toxic waters by making kitchenware. Yes, I think that is a good movie out there, worth looking into, Dark Waters. And Agatha, what does Agatha say?
Agatha, iPhone does have an app named Journal for people to keep a journal.
Great.
That sounds great.
That sounds great.
You can't use
handwriting.
handwriting.
You can't handwrite in it.
But good to know. The difference between a diary and a journal, by the way, a diary is record what you did that day. It's not really a creative place. It's a place to record what you did. Well,
it can be.
Yeah,
it can be. I mean, diary can be just a report of what you did that day, or it also can be the place where you let your thoughts wander and explore ideas. And that leads us to our final vocab word for today. It's a big, long term. It's 3 words, so bear with us here. Stream of consciousness. Ooh, stream. There's a stream and consciousness. All your thoughts, Rhonda, what does stream of consciousness mean?
Writing whatever comes out of your pen, whatever occurs to you. It actually is something of a literary movement at the beginning of the 1900s. James Joyce wrote a famous novel that's almost no periods in it, just the inner thoughts of someone. So stream of consciousness. You can write in your journal in a stream of consciousness style. It's probably not something you're going to publish.
Right.
You're just writing
unless you're
what
James
occurs
Joyce.
to you. Yeah.
And even the writers who would write in stream of consciousness style would adjust it and revise it. They just wanted it to appear like it was just thoughts coming out of their head. So there was art and craft involved in that. But just for purposes of writing and getting that benefit for your mind and body, stream of consciousness is one way to do it. Just not having a plan, not having an outline, not paying attention even to punctuation. Just writing the thoughts down as they come, and here's another one, and I'm not even going to stop writing. And then you sort of pause and you look back on it. And sometimes, you know, it's not like this is automatically truth or insight. Sometimes it can just be a jumble of words, but sometimes you can see something there. So it's an interesting exercise to try sometime in your handwritten journal.
Steve and Agatha, I'm glad you could encourage each other. Joy, journaling is a good way to slow dementia developing.
Yes.
I'm going to get at it. Yes.
Use it or lose it. That's the big thing with the brain.
Great insight.
Always be using it. Anyway, we hope that today we have given you some vocab and helped you think about it and helped you think about doing some handwriting, making a little handwritten note maybe to someone just to let them know you appreciate what they're doing or that you're sorry that they're having a hard time. You know, it can be as simple as a post-it note. We're not talking about writing a big long letter or in a journal, although you can do that too. Just want to show you that there are a wide range of ways that you can work handwriting into your life for your benefit.
Peter, can you connect the dots for our listeners? We've said a lot of things. We didn't talk about the phrase connect the dots. So maybe wrap up. You want to connect the dots?
Well, that is our last vocab term, connect the dots. And to connect the dots, you know how when you were a kid, you had a picture of something and it was just these dots, but they were all numbered, so you connect from dot 1 to dot 2 to dot 3 to dot 4, and as you do so, a shape takes form and a picture takes form. Well, we also use that phrase in terms of expressing an idea as adults. We have ideas and we want to be able to make sense of them, so one phrase that is sometimes used for making sense of various ideas is to connect the dots. So we hope that you're able to connect the dots with all the dots that we've thrown at you today. But yeah, Rhonda?
Yeah, can you help me connect the dots? Or, I'm having trouble connecting the dots is something we say if things aren't coming together. So I like that phrase. Dots.
So, I'm afraid we gotta call it quits for now, but we will be back with you next Monday with more vocab, with another idea to share and talk about. So good luck connecting the dots through handwriting in a journal or a letter or even a little note to someone. And until then, have a great week.
Have a great week.
I'm going to write something now.
Well, my journal is blank, so I need to fill.
Oh, you need to fill that.